Hey, thanks for tuning in today. My call sign is Blitz, and in this video, we are going to figure out what the best water filter is for your bug out bag, or 24-hour bag, or inch bag, or get home bag, or any bag that you might sling across your back and head out into the great unknown. Now, real quick, obviously, I have no clue what the right water filter is for you. I don't know you, I don't know your situation, I don't know where you're located, and I don't know what type of environment you're operating in, what you're preparing for, or any of those variables. But what I can do is I can share my experience with water filters, with water purification tablets, and all the various ways that you can use to purify water. I can show you the successes, and I can also show you the fails, and then from that, you can come up with a reasonable conclusion on how you want to build out your water filtration kit. So, let's get into it. Now, before we pick out that perfect water purification setup, let's do a quick recap of the 3 most common ways to purify water so you don't drink from a contaminated source and end up dead or horribly sick. First, obviously, you got to collect the water. Now, unlike the ads you see for water filters where this person is kneeling next to this beautiful, clear, rushing mountain stream, the reality probably is going to look a lot more like this. The water is dirty and full of debris. Now, sure, I can drink directly from the source, but that means my filter ends up getting clogged with debris, so I prefer to use a dedicated container to collect that water before I decide on how I want to go about purifying it. First, I just had to give the good old 16-ounce bag that comes with the Sawyer Mini a try yet again, and like before, it was a total fail because of the tiny opening, which makes it literally impossible to really fill this up from a standing water source like this. I've tried a couple different ways to get this done, from holding the bag underwater and trying to spread it open, and you know, it just doesn't work. So that's why it's nice to have a wide mouth collapsible bag that I can just scoop the water up, and it's much easier and quicker than the 16-ounce Sawyer bag, which has only worked one time when I actually put it in one of those rare, random, beautiful, clear mountain streams, which was back up in the Smokies. And I don't live in the Smokies anymore. I'm here in Florida, so this is what it is. So the great thing about this collapsible bag here is also there's the built-in filter. So with this, I kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Now, the other obvious option is to use a canteen cup to collect that water. At this point, I mean, I just might want a quick drink, and that's why it's nice to have the Katadyn Be Free, because like you saw, I can just collect water with the bag, and I can also have a drink. But again, I don't want to contaminate that filter with debris. Even though the marketing material for the Katadyn Be Free says the filter is super easy to clean and, you know, doesn't require a big syringe to flush it out like the Sawyer Mini, I still like to play it safe. So the way you get that done is to strain the water into another container. Then you have water that's completely debris free. And at that point in time, I can break out the Sawyer Mini and drink directly from this water. So that's the first option for purification after collecting and removing debris. Use a filter. Good stuff. The second option is to drop in a water purification tab. Now, depending on the brand, purification can take from 30 minutes up to a few hours, so be mindful of that when you're choosing the right type of tablet for you. After using many different brands, I settled on the Potable Aqua as my favorite. It's fast enough, it's very effective, and with this secondary bottle, I can remove that aftertaste that you usually get from using water purification tabs. And then finally, the third option is to boil water. That's obvious, but it's time and energy intensive. In my opinion, the fire, like if you're gonna make a fire, that's for cooking and for warmth. There's no need to go through the entire fire making process just to boil water. And if I'm doing that, that means I'm either bored and I'm just getting that practical training in, or it's an actual legit survival situation, and this is my last only way to boil water in order to have something clean to drink. And then, as you see here, Boiling can also prove quite difficult if you have to deal with fire starting in rainy conditions. Now, of course, there are other methods for purifying water, but I don't really feel any need to touch on those since they're kind of edge cases, and I just wanted to focus on the basics. So, back on topic, let's talk filters. How do you make an educated choice, and how do you put together a comprehensive water purification system for survival? First off, there's a few important questions that you have to ask. Number one, how many people do you need to support? Are you solo, or are you responsible for more people than yourself? What is the situation? Is it a 24-hour situation? Is it 72, or is it longer term? Are you mobile, or are you sheltering in place? What is your primary water source, urban or wilderness? And then finally, what is your budget? Because water filters range from $20 all the way up to $200 and above. This is what works for me. It may not work for you, or you might get some ideas about it. So here's what it is. I chose to diversify. For my 72-hour bag, I gotta stick with the Sawyer Mini. It's a proven, well-tested design, capable of filtering up to 100,000 gallons. It's compact, and it also has a dual use with the straw, and then the threading is compatible for attachment to your average, like soda or water bottle. And then finally, of course, the price is just absolutely amazing. However, you saw that collection with that 16-ounce bag is a real pain. Not saying it can't be done, but I much prefer to have a collapsible wide mouth bag with me. That can be as simple as a big, like 1 gallon Ziploc bag, a hydro bladder, or like you saw me use with the Catted and Be Free. Of course, relying on one source of purification is dumb. Don't be dumb. So I have backup in a variety of water purification pills, and then a little bit of powder. For longer term situations, or if I'm responsible for my family or others, I've got to go with a pump filter setup. Now, you see me playing around here with the Renovo filter. I had this working. I haven't had any problems with this for a year. I don't know what happened, but it just literally is clogged up and not working. So this may be a problem that I caused myself by not properly flushing this filter, or it may be indicative of bigger issues with the Renovo filters, which kind of sucks because I love this water filter system. It's completely modular. It's basically like a transformer. You can run it as a straw. You can use it as a pump to purify large quantities of water. You can also actually put this in line with your hydration hose so you can drink on the go. And then it also handles heavy metals and chemicals. The only thing it doesn't do is actually find the water and collect it for you. But like I said, there's only one problem. It's not working. So I've got to figure that out. And at this point, I'm just basically SOL on the pump filter. I have had my eye on the Mac Daddy of pump filters, the Catted Backpacker. I really want this, but I just need to justify spending $200+ on a freaking water filter. And finally, a big thanks to Peter for making this video happen. He is one of my patrons who is on the Survival Q&A tier on Patreon, who submitted some great questions about water purification, which is enabling this video to actually happen. I did a dedicated video for Peter and another one of my patrons on this subject. We also talked about bank line. The link is down there in the pinned post. Go check that out. And if you're interested in getting on board with this, you can also join the Survival Q&A tier on Patreon. You can submit questions just like Peter or Eric, and you can be part of the monthly Survival Q&A video. I hope to see you guys over there, and always, let's jump in those comments. Let's have a chat. How are you guys getting that water purification done? I appreciate the support, and I will see you in the next video. Happy New Year. Show your support for the channel by checking out the wide range of survival gear available at thesurvivaloutpost.com. We stock only top quality, rugged, tactical equipment and apparel designed to support any mission or situation life may throw your way. Any gear you've seen in this video is linked up down there in the pinned post, and be sure to check out the suggested videos for more real-world survival content and training.